Alright, so this is a video I've been thinking about doing for quite a while. You can find many videos on the Fatlas Bipod or Fake Atlas Bipod, and you pretty much can guarantee both those videos are going to be one of two opinions. One is, don't waste your money, it's a Chinese piece of crap, save your money up and buy a real Atlas. Or, the other opinion is, don't waste your money on a real Atlas, they are just as good, they have all the same features for a tenth the money. And I kind of fall somewhere in the middle of that. I have plenty of experience with real Atlas bipods, and I have plenty of experience with the fake Atlas bipod. As you can see here, my last fake Atlas bipod ended in pretty well disaster, and we'll talk about that here in a minute. Now, if you get on YouTube, or not on YouTube, if you get on eBay or Amazon or any of those types of, probably even Wish, you will find hundreds of sellers that sell knockoff Atlas bipods, and that's exactly what they are. They are a knockoff. They are made to look just like an Atlas bipod and function very similar, even though they are not the same thing. And we're going to talk about how they are similar and how they are different, and if you might possibly want, why you would or would not want to put a fake Atlas on your precision rifle. I see lots of people running around with fake Atlases on their precision rifles, and for the most part that may be okay. So, and in some ways it may very well not be. So this is the fake Atlas bipod, is a knockoff of the Atlas V8 BT10 LW17. Just like a real Atlas bipod, it has 4.75 inches all the way up to 9 inches fully extended of total elevation or height adjustment. Just like the real Atlas bipod, it has the 45-degree legs, allowing you to get a nice wide footprint to make it much more stable than even a lot of the other name brand bipods on the market. Just like a real Atlas bipod, the legs lock into, I think, four positions. Just like a real Atlas bipod, it rotates 360 degrees and has 15 degrees of pan or tilt in either direction. Just like a real Atlas bipod, it is somewhat rigid to load. It has a little bit of give and allows the rifle to functionally recoil straight back, very similar to a real Atlas bipod. Just like a real Atlas bipod, it has this locking wheel on the bottom that allows you to lock your position in place or to tighten your position up and make it somewhat rigid. And just like a real Atlas bipod, you can replace the fake Atlas bipod feet or legs and add real Atlas bipod leg extensions and the spike feet or replacement Atlas bipod feet from the real Atlas bipod. So functionally very similar, and also this version, being the LW17 knockoff, has a QD quick detach mount for a pick rail. So in very many ways, much like a real Atlas bipod. Now, I have plenty of experience with the real Atlas bipod and the fake Atlas bipod, and there's some good things about it, mainly that it has a lot of the same functionality as a real Atlas bipod, but in some ways it also doesn't. So even though it has a lot of the same adjustment, it is a much cruder design. So if you get on B&T Industries, who makes the Atlas bipod, if you get on their YouTube page, they have a video comparing the real and the fake Atlas bipod, and they, in that video, take both of them completely apart and show just how unsimilar the fake Atlas bipod is internally compared to a real Atlas. They are made completely different on the internals. That's the reason that they feel so crude. Sliding the legs in and out is nowhere near as smooth as a real Atlas bipod. Locking the bipod out does not go anywhere near as smoothly as a real Atlas. Now, if I try to lock this down with my fingers as tight as I can, with my fingers, I cannot lock that in to a fully tight position. I actually have to take the bipod, tighten it up, and then rotate it into place to get it to lock out like I would a real Atlas bipod with just my fingers spinning the wheel to tighten it up. So it takes some extra understanding of how this bipod actually works to get it to function like a real Atlas bipod would, and it does not work as fast because you have to go through those extra steps just to get it to lock out like a real Atlas. The legs do tilt and to the 45-degree angles just like a real Atlas. So functionally very similar. And like I said, you can even replace the feet and bipod extensions with real Atlas parts. But that is where that's where the similarities stop for the most part. It is not made of the same equipment. As a matter of fact, this is the first fake Atlas bipod that I ever owned. And this thing broke in the field with me doing nothing more than loading the bipod. Now, if you guys watch my videos, you'll know that I load a bipod fairly hard. Not hard enough that it should break any bipod that I am shooting behind. And I actually got this first fake Atlas bipod. I bought a rifle from somebody years ago, and it had a fake Atlas on it, and I kind of left it on there and used it for the time being, and at the time thought of it as very similar until I got behind a real Atlas and realized how dissimilar they were. And then the leg broke from me just loading the bipod, and I realized how much cruder this was. It's obviously not made of the same material. There is no way you're going to just be loading an Atlas bipod and the leg completely snap off like this. So if you get behind a real Atlas, you can immediately feel the difference in all of its functionality. Now, why would I buy a second one? I bought this second one, because I wanted to do this video. They're fairly cheap. You can get them for like $40 on Amazon. And two, I wanted something I could throw in my pack that if I have one of my bipods go down, or somebody shows up at the range and needs a bipod for their rifle, I have something I can pull out that we can throw on a rifle, and we can use it for the time being, and for the most part probably have no issues in the fake Atlas bipod. It is not something that I would ever recommend somebody buying and putting on a competition rifle, because anybody that shoots competition knows things break at the most inopportune times, especially during competition. And you can almost guarantee that if your fake Atlas is going to break, it's going to break in competition. So if I was buying it for a competition rifle, that is a place where I would absolutely say, save your money and buy a real Atlas bipod so that you don't have to have the worry in your head. The last thing you want is something else to think about if you're shooting a competition. If you are buying a rifle to primarily learn long range, you just want something to throw on, to be sturdy, to be fairly functional, to have a wide footprint, to give you lots of stability, the fake Atlas will absolutely do that. Is it morally okay to buy a bipod that is a complete copy of an American company that supports our troops, that supports lots of good things here in America? Is it morally just to buy a Chinese knockoff and not give your money to an American company? That's something that you need to decide. I have my own personal opinions on that, but that's not what we're here to talk about. This has been my personal opinion of the Fatlas bipod. In some ways it's very similar, it's very functionally similar to a real Atlas, and in many ways it is not. So you need to decide whether it is something that is absolutely not going to hold up under harsh conditions, is something that you want on your rifle because it is very functionally sound, or you want to save up your money for the real thing. So I hope this was helpful. Hope you guys enjoyed this. I'll see you guys next time. I'm out.